Hello, Uniform Oz here. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. I've been meaning to do this little video on starting out in journaling or even art for quite a while now. And the reason being is I help out at my local exhibition centre, and of course I meet a lot of people and talk to a lot of people. And I'm always gobsmacked at the amount of people say, oh, people are so creative, you're so creative, look at all the things they can do. I can't draw, I can't paint, I'm not crafty, I haven't got any creativeness in me. And I think, sorry, that's a load of baloney, because I believe everybody is creative to some degree. Not only that, drawing and painting is a skill that can be learnt. So if you've been meaning to start journaling, what is stopping you? Are you not trying to do something creative because you're worried about failing? Are you worried about not making it like so-and-so's video or such and such down the road? I started seriously art journaling in about 2015. Prior to that, I'd actually watched a lot of YouTube on journaling for years. And what stopped me from journaling, even though I had done art nearly all my life, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to make those nice pages or afford those really good stamps or all those lovely inks, and I didn't have all the stuff. And it took me a long time to realise that that's not what it's about. And then when I did start journaling, after a couple of months, I nearly gave it up. Because I thought, it's not turning out like that, and I've got the same things, but it's not what I wanted, and it doesn't look like the one on YouTube, and I'm never going to be any good, and my pages aren't pretty. And then it actually took me a while to realise that I'm never going to be able to art journal like such and such or so-and-so, because I'm Una. I'm not Lindsay. I'm not Jacinta. I'm not the lady down the road. I'm Una. So I'm only going to art journal like Una. And it was a huge wake-up call, but it took me a long time to get there. So what is your excuse for not doing anything creative, even though you sort of want to? It sort of might be in the back of your head. So what do you need to start art journaling or journaling of any sort? You don't need a lot. And I've got a selection of things here that can get you started. So this one, I recently finished it. This is just a really cheap journal from a discount store. It probably cost me under $3. Now the paper wasn't super quality, but I glued 2 pages together to make it a bit more substantial. And I just went through and did collaging. I do like a lot of collage, and I think collage is really easy and good to start with. But I just did inks and paints and collage. So I filled that one. Another one that's really easy to do. This is a nice looking journal or notebook, and it again came from a discount store online. It's got this sort of brownish paper. It's quite thin, so it wouldn't be good for a lot of wet mediums, but you could actually just glue a couple of pages together, and if it gets too full, you can take a few pages out and use them elsewhere. I also suggest that if you're starting journaling, don't start too big. Don't get a huge big journal, because sometimes the big blank page can be quite overwhelming. This one is a handmade journal. I used a piece of leftover scrapbooking paper, and this is just cheap art paper. Cheap art paper from the discount store. Cut it to size, and I used a couple of brads to hold it together. Poked a hole with a needle and held it together. Now if you haven't got brads, you could use a stapler, or you could just stitch it with the sewing machine, or you could pamphlet stitch it after making a few holes. So this one being art paper, it's not too big, but being art paper, it'll take quite a lot of wet mediums. So that's another option. This one's just leftover crappy paper that I had. I have partly decorated. I've used scrapbooking paper. I'll go this way. So scrapbooking paper, really old book page stuck together. A bit of leftover pad paper, piece of paper somebody gave me, a leftover tickety card thing, another piece of scrapbooking paper, and all I've done is run it through the sewing machine. It's not real big, you can see, but it's got a variety of stuff. Some pages will take wetter mediums and some won't. You could staple it, you could hand stitch it, easy peasy. This is another one I got from a craft store. It was on special. It didn't cost a lot of money. It's got just plain lined paper. It's a little bit thicker than standard paper, but again, you could easily glue 2 pages together, but it was very, very good for collaging or for writing or drawing. And this was, again, really, really cheap. And this one, this is an old calendar, old planner from 2017. And I pulled it out this morning and thought, oh, I must have done something with it, because I've actually glued pages together because it was quite thin. But every so often in this, there's a piece of card with a picture on it. So there's a bit of a start there. So again, I've just gone through and glued pages together. So this is a bit more A5 size, so a little bit bigger. And it doesn't worry about this because I would paint over it or collage over it. So again, easy way to start. And this one is actually a bought journal. It's got a canvasy cover, so yes, it was probably a little bit dearer. But this one also comes with, I'll see if I can find an empty one, printed background on the pages. So you don't even have to do a background because it's already there to start with. So it's already given you a start if you're not too sure of how to start with a blank page. And you don't need a huge amount of materials to start with. One way to start is collage. Super simple magazine. This is a great magazine, Daphne's Diary. It can be any magazine. It can be brochures out of your junk mail. And you can just cut it up and cut shapes and pictures and bits and pieces you like. You could theme it to colours or where have you been. And other things that can be really handy to start is just a multicoloured pen. I could easily draw with that or colour in. Yeah, it's got half a dozen different colours. It actually works really well. It was a gift, a free gift and a thing. Another one, a really simple box of watercolour paints. Comes with a brush and some paint pans, all I need is a bit of water and away I go. So again, you don't need to spend a fortune and have every single product under the sun. Another good one, I haven't even opened these, I took the wrapper off this morning, is just some paint pens. So a little bit more drawing-like rather than the watercolour, but paint pens. And there's many, many different brands of paint pens. And I wanted to show you this book because this is I really like this book. I bought it in 2018, and it's a book on drawing. It's centered around landscapes and scenery, and it actually was printed first in the 70s. And I came across it when I was having art lessons, and I thought, what a brilliant book. And the reason I like it is it's so simple to follow. Anybody who wanted to learn to draw could easily follow these items step by step. It talks about layer and design and putting things together. And anybody can draw. I would say anybody could draw following the principles in this book. It's not hard, it's not difficult, it's very simple to follow, and you can do it in your own time. Most of all of this is not based on colour, it's based on black and white. But again, people say, oh, I can't draw, I'm not creative, I can't do art. Well, yeah, sorry, you can. You just have to want to do it. Collage is really, really simple to do because you just have to cut out images and stick them down. They don't even have to be related. If you get stuck with colours, get yourself a colour wheel. I think this cost me less than $8. It's not a bad one. It's got a twirly bit in the middle. But I still do use it because it gives you an idea of how to use it and what goes with what. Now, you don't have to follow all the composition rules and the design rules and the colour rules, and that's what's the really nice thing about art journaling is it's very, very freeform. So I ask again, if you are wanting to do some journaling, do some art, do some card making, some scrapbooking, anything, have a go. Just have a start. Do it in your own room, in your own time. No one has to see it. Start with something simple. Make your own book. Buy a ready-made book. Buy a ready-made book with backgrounds already done. You don't have to have a huge amount of products to start it, but you've just got to start. So please, if you are inclined in any way, shape or form to do some journaling of any sort, watch some YouTube, follow a few people, join a few Facebook groups, get a couple of basic supplies and please have a go. I'll talk to you next time. See you later.